What's going on, guys? So, Tyler has blessed us with some new music from the Call Me If You Get Lost era titled The Estate Sale. Essentially, it's a couple new tracks that were created during the era of the Call Me If You Get Lost time that just didn't really make the official album, and he still kind of wanted to release in some capacity, so he decided to randomly just give them to us. So, starting off, the first song that he released is called Everything Must Go. It's essentially just a thank you, kind of a great way to start off the estate sale. Genuinely thanking all of his fans for giving the album a listen, for just lending an ear. You know, Tyler's been one of those people that's always been, at least from the public point of view, he's always been very, very appreciative of the people that listen to his music and kind of just anybody giving him an eye or an ear. He's always been super appreciative of that. So from that track, we lead into Stuntman. So we're starting off super high energy here. The beat is super fun. They got Vince Staples on this song, and he sounds great. He honestly sounds great on it. But it's more so just talking about how Tyler's stunting kind of in his own way. Kind of, Tyler's always very in touch with the things that he enjoys. He enjoys the Rolls Royces and he enjoys biking, and kind of that's his way to stunt, is to be like, I can bike any day of the week. I can drive my Rolls Royce any time of the week. I can do whatever I want. So it's kind of like the first song. I'm kind of glad this one didn't make the actual album, because while I do think it's good, I do think the vibe is just kind of like maybe too energetic at some points. That's kind of debatable. It's a good song though, but I'm kind of glad he released it in this capacity. From there we have What a Day, and wow, honestly, this is probably my number two favorite song on this estate sale. Um, it's a super chill beat, but it's kind of still Tyler like stunting like in a super low key way. It's kind of, to me, it kind of felt like he was rapping through a therapy session with himself. He's talking about things he's worried about, the duality of kind of himself, where he's stuck in this position of he feels like he's bragging a lot. That's what he's told by like some of his audience, but another part of his audience is kind of inspired by it. And my own kind of thoughts on that are, you know, it may come off sounding braggadocious to some people, but when I hear some of the things he says, you know, about the Rolls Royces and about being able to, I mean, I like biking too, so he just takes his bike out and he's going on walks and he's walking at the beach and he's taking trips to wherever, doing whatever he wants. I'm sitting in a 9 to 5 thinking like, wow, that does sound nice. So to me, it's really inspiring, for to see someone I followed since 2013 just be able to have this freedom and create this career that he has. So I honestly think it's a really cool way to just, it's kind of like he's venting almost. Um, he's talking about the advice he's taken from Clancy. He's talking about how his success is kind of, he's has so much time, but when you come up kind of like the lone wolf, like he's had like a very secure group of friends around him, a small group, and some have come and some have go. But he's just kind of at the point where, maybe some of these things have created him to be a little antisocial in some aspects. And so Clancy tells him like take a trip, pack a bag, get on a flight, do things you enjoy. So it was really cool to hear him just kind of venting to himself. It felt like a little therapy session in a sense. But he's talking about things he loves in life as well, which is really nice to hear. From that track, we go into Wharf Talk, which this one's like another fun beat. I feel like all of the songs that he had people also on as like features and things like that. I feel like those were kind of like uplifted, kind of like just more like higher energy in a sense. But yeah, this was a pretty fun beat. He's talking about how he doesn't think he'll fall in love again, but he's going to give it a chance. He doesn't see himself alone in the future. I thought Rocky sounded pretty good on this beat. People have been kind of debating on whether like they thought his feature was good on this, but I thought it was pretty good. When people see like a feature tag on a song, I feel like they a lot of times think like at least half the song will be like a verse from that person or something like that. But I feel like Tyler utilizes people in a really good way to make things just choruses. He might have someone on a hook. He might just have someone spit a couple bars, and I think Rocky was utilized pretty good here on this beat. I think Tyler has a really good ear for who he thinks would sound good over his beats. But the overall song here is just kind of about love, creating experiences together with another person. Kind of Tyler and Rocky both coming from that like we've got some money, so like we can take you any experience you want. We can show you things that you haven't seen. Hop on a boat, hop on a plane, whatever you want to do. Let's go. From that song, we go into Dogtooth, which this came out as a single actually. Before all these songs came out, with the initial release of like Tyler saying I'm gonna release a bunch of songs that didn't actually make the album, and my initial thoughts on this song were just like didn't really love it at first. I kind of listened to it one day early in the morning after it came out, and I was like, okay. Like, I see what he's doing here, but people are calling it the Munch Anthem. I think it's super funny. But overall, the song has really grown on me. Um, I think this one out of all of them is super on par with the overall like sound and vibe of Call Me If You Get Lost. Um, Tyler just talking about respect and talking about, how people shouldn't make choices for women's bodies and things like that. Kind of like a way to just, Tyler's not super political, but the way that he puts things in his music, I think he does a pretty good job of like giving you how he feels about things without like touching too close to the subject, I guess. But yeah, I think this one aged pretty well for me. He kind of, it's kind of like the bragging, like he admits he doesn't really care to be a homewrecker, but at the same time, he's also kind of, during the song, he's like, I want you, but I can't have you because someone else has you, but I want you to be mine alone. But yeah, I thought this one grew on me quite a bit. And again, it's another one of those kind of like upbeat, um, I don't know, just it's very Tyler-esque of what we've heard recently. And yeah, it's pretty good. Going from there, though, we have Heaven to Me, which I heard this song, the sample, immediately, and I thought Kanye West because I don't know if you guys have heard like recent Kanye leaks at all. I mean, overall, Kanye's always had these like old-timey samples in certain songs of his, and he's very known for that. I don't want to act like I like know something you guys don't, but Kanye is very in tune with those samples and things. So I heard the sample kind of repeated over and over again. And I was thinking Kanye, 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 and then all of a sudden it comes out, and Tyler posts on his story that it was a Kanye beat. So obviously that's gonna strike attention, and certain people are not gonna like that. Certain people are gonna like that. Um, but yeah, I thought the beat was great, and you can just kind of tell it's a Kanye beat right off the rip. But it's really just the whole song is great, man. It's talking about basically Tyler explaining what heaven is to him. Um, like I said, he's got so much time on his hands and things that he can do, and he's a workaholic. He is, but this song is more so talking about him wanting to have a family and having the wife and the kids, and leaving the kids with grandparents and going to their other house with the beautiful backyard and the view, and this is where they go when they're bored. But it was really cool seeing this side of Tyler because we don't typically get to see this side of him. A lot of these songs are him talking about like I'll have anybody I want, whatever I want, yada yada type thing. And this song was very like a down to earth, like traditional sounding kind of lyrics to me, at least. Of him just being like, I want to grow old with somebody. I want the kids, and I want that lifestyle. And so I thought it was really good. I think the sample was great. The beat is overall, I thought, really on Tyler's vibe, on par with Tyler's vibe. Um, what I really liked about this song was about midway, I believe. He starts talking about like what heaven was to him as a kid. And we kind of get those old like Odd Future kind of callbacks of like him hanging out with Jasper and growing up in LA, and you kind of get the pre up until 17 Tyler version of what heaven was, and then from 17 on until it gets back into, what heaven is to him now. But he mentions like when he was making Bastard and hanging out in LA with friends, and I thought it was just a really good, um, I guess you could say, just like a very transparent song. And we get a lot of that from Tyler, but I don't think we get a lot of that in this way. And I also want to point out the fact that he did say on his Twitter that he does not think he's gonna have kids, but he wants to be the cool uncle, I think. So take that with a grain of salt. But then we get into boyfriend girlfriend, and I don't really have much to say about the song. It's in demo stage, and that's kind of the only thing I'm thinking is like, not sure why he left it in demo stage, why he didn't just like finish it like the rest of the songs that he did for Estate Sale. But yeah, overall it was pretty good. I think YG was honestly like perfect feature for this song. I think he sounds really good for it, and I think Tyler also explained why he picked YG. Maybe on his Twitter or on his Instagram, but he gives a lot of backstory for why he picks certain people for certain songs or where his beats and stuff like, especially like nowadays, like what's going on with his beats. And I thought it was really cool, the transparency with this estate sale like rollout. Um, but yeah, he just kind of talking about how he wants someone when he's feeling alone. But it's kind of like this dilemma with him where he's kind of throughout this album in general, but really with the estate sale as well. He's like, I can kind of have whoever I want, but she's kind of pointing out the fact that like, okay, a lot of people are taken, so it's hard because you want someone that's taken, whatnot, and you can't have them. And that's kind of what he's saying in some of the songs. But yeah, he just says he wants someone when he's feeling alone. And yeah, from there we have Sorry Not Sorry, which to me is the number one. And I don't know if you guys have seen the video for this song, but it just makes it that much better. Probably honestly one of my favorite Tyler videos, maybe ever. Um, but yeah, it hits really hard when you think about what Tyler's saying here. If you really read the lyrics and look what he's saying and the things he's talking about, and especially if you have the music video pulled up and you're listening to it at the same time, um, it makes a lot more sense when you see his mom in the video and you see the different people in the video. But the song is called "Sorry Not Sorry" because throughout the entire song, he's just kind of mentioning things he's sorry for, and more of those things being an absent son or an absent brother, being the kin to his sister. He says he's sorry for not being empathetic. He's sorry to his fans for changing, but he's also saying it's hard because we don't know him on a personal level to understand why he went through the changes he went through. But I think this song was the best out of all of them. Super transparent on this, but towards the end, Tyler says he's got two words for all of the people that misrepresent the things he does and says, and the people that don't understand exactly what's going on, and they still form opinions on him based off of things they don't really know. And he's got two words for those people.